On this episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast, me and Trevor get way off topic, but we also talk about some good stuff. Things like, is it cool if someone turns around and sells merch that's been signed by an artist? Well, thanks for jumping on, and let's open this pit up.
Somebody hit somebody!
Alrighty. Well, welcome to this episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I'm Kyle. We got Trevor on here. So what's up, man?
Not much, man. I was expecting you to go, I'm back.
I am back, but I was back on the episode that's dropping tomorrow.
Yeah, but we're 2 weeks removed without a midweek. So
Oh, yeah, I guess. I
yeah.
haven't done a midweek in a little bit. So,
Yeah. Last one was with Chris, which that one was fun. It
oh,
was a
yeah.
good time talking about Furnace Fest. You got anything else new? Any new tunes that you're listening to?
New stuff, not really. It's been kind of hard because literally all I've done is listen to like the new With Honor and Koyo. I don't know. I haven't really paid that much attention. The new Many Eyes, if people haven't listened to that, should definitely go check that out.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
that's
talked
really
about
good.
that on the last episode. Mini
Yeah.
Eyes versus Better Lovers. I think we're all on the Mini Eyes train so far
For now,
for the limited sample that we have.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that actually ends up because I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how those two play out.
As we were listening to AFI, I really liked Jade's project Twin Sign. That's his electronic stuff. I've thrown that on a couple of times over the last 2 weeks since I came across it. So that's pretty cool. It's easy listening if you want something like that, more
Yeah.
mellow.
So I saw that One Step Closer is in the studio. I think they just wrapped up. Have you listened to them?
I have not.
So they're dope. They're like a melodic hardcore. I don't know how else to
Let me-
describe them.
How long have they? Maybe I have, but I haven't
been out
listened
for a
to
little bit.
anything recent from them. So,
You
like,
should
I
check
couldn't-
them out. They're pretty sweet. They have like a new song that they dropped. It's really good, but they just wrapped up the studio. So I'm hoping to get a new album from them in the next little bit.
Okay.
And then, yeah, after listening to AFI, I kind of jumped back down to like the traditional punk route and like found a couple bands. Like there's this one called The Drowns.
The Drowns.
Yeah, like drown, like I'm drowning
Okay.
in my sleep. And they're just like kind of like it's like Rancid, but like a little heavier vocals. It's kind of cool. So,
All right.
but yeah, that's kind of what I've been listening to. Is I just kind of went back down the punk rabbit hole because AFI like brought me back.
Sure. Rancid is a band that I never heavily got into. They were one that I always just periodically had a couple songs here and there from. But Tim Armstrong is everywhere. His finger in the punk scene is on everything. He's like Adam D in metalcore.
Okay,
He's like, because he first
So
produced.
so he's fingered a lot in
He's speaking a lot of punks.
Jeez.
But no, he first did AFI, right? Who else
Sure,
were we
man.
talking about that someone else, he did their first album too that we recently
I
talked
don't
about.
know. I can't even think now because of that. So yeah,
threw
I'm
me
sure.
off too.
But yes,
It
you should
might
go check
have
out the Drowns.
been-
They're sick.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna bug me. Oh, I think it might have been Alkaline. I think he did Alkaline's first album. He
Yep,
did
he did.
Alkaline, he did AFI. So he's done a lot of that. And the thing is, he's California, right? But Alkaline was out of Chicago. So he's done it all, like people came to him. So we'll have to probably get into Rancid at some point, or at least Tim Armstrong, and talk about him
Yeah,
and where he's done a lot.
for sure.
So
Yeah, no, that's sick. What you got? What you got going on?
pretty low key again. Right now, Wild West Fest is happening today. So Vamakara and Tsunami are playing probably right now as we speak, which pretty bummed I'm not there watching that. But
I hear that. So we went to like this trunk retreat. Where you decorate your car and crap.
yeah,
And it was like a family event, but you should have seen some of these costumes, dude. Like there was this guy that he was like a surfer and like he had made it look like the side of his body was like bitten by a shark and like it was all bloody and guts. And I'm like,
That's
dude,
pretty dope.
it was a sick costume, but I'm like, you're going to scare one. There's like little kids here, you know?
They got to grow up at some point.
Yeah, nothing like going
Do you
to.
remember when we were in high school, we were on I think it was the biology trip, and we went to Universal Theater. And
I
like
do remember that
right
trip.
as you walk in, they had the horror house that you could walk through, and it was like the old horror movies and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
And we were following a group right in front of us of some big dudes, and
They were
someone popped out.
like gangster looking
Yeah,
guys, right?
yeah, exactly. And someone popped out, and they like jump back, fists up, and they're like, "Oh, mother effer!" Like they were ready to throw down.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Are you a haunted house guy?
I'm not. No, I don't like those things.
Yeah, I'm not either. I've been
I
to like a
tried to
couple.
get into the horror scene, but it's just not for me.
I don't like it either. I think I've only been to a couple, but I know there's like some pretty crazy ones in Utah.
Yeah. No, Utah's got some good ones. There used to be one. I don't know if it's still there, but it was they claim it was an old insane asylum, but you signed waivers and the actors could touch you. Not like
Jeez.
physically hurt you, but they could touch you.
Back
Right?
to the never mind. I'll stop there. Don't worry.
Back to Tim Armstrong. I'm sure he enjoyed that. But it was like 13 floors. And there was like, if you made it to the 13th floor without quitting, you got your money back or something like that.
Wow.
So it was like that level of intensity and things along those lines. But never got into that kind of stuff. Didn't enjoy it. I went to the couple like Nightmare on 13th, I think is the popular one
yeah,
here.
I've done that one.
So
that was all right. I went to like a couple like pumpkin patches where not pumpkin patches, like corn mazes, right?
The haunted mazes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those suck too, because it's like not only are people jumping out and chasing me, but I'm lost. You know? Like, no, thank you.
Right.
I'm all right.
Exactly.
I'm all right. So, well, you know, we haven't talked very much, but I did go to a few shows before I left for out of town. So
yeah, you went to the one that I'm jealous of. Come Back Kid and Stick to Your Guns.
Yeah. So, which they're amazing, right? Both those bands, amazing. So it was, the openers were Spirit World and Orthodox.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucked. They played at a venue that was like way too big for what this was. And there was like no one there. And there was a barricade. And it just kind of sucked because like those types of shows, you have to be like packed in and there can't be a barricade because you're not going to get the full experience, you know?
See, and just right before that, they played here at Salt Lake at Kilby, which is capacity max, I think, is 200. So like a smaller venue, but they literally filled it to the brim kind of thing. It could have easily been moved to a bigger venue and still probably have been packed here. So it really surprised me when you said that there wasn't very many people down there. It makes me curious about the scene in general in Dallas.
Well, you know, the other shows I've been to besides No Bragging Rights were pretty packed.
They've been bigger names though, right? And like pretty current bands.
I mean, Stick to Your Guns and Comeback Kid are pretty freaking big, you know?
Are they current though? Are they current big?
As big as you could say the Wonder Years are right now, and the Wonder Years were packed.
I'd probably disagree with that.
Really?
I think that the Wonder Years, I'm not saying the music better. Like this isn't which band is better. I just think that in terms of the current scene, more people are going to show up for the Wonder Years currently than Comeback Kid and Stick to Your Guns, depending on the scene, right? That's why I said I'm really curious about the Dallas scene. I wish we could find someone who grew up down there, bring them on and have them talk about the hardcore metalcore scene and who were the popular bands. Because Stick to Your Guns and Comeback Kid were like top echelon here in Salt Lake.
Yeah. So I met a guy at No Bragging Rights that was like, dude, I'll see you in the pit at Stick to Your Guns for sure. There's no way I'm missing that. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened. And it's a super bummer because all the bands were awesome. Like Spirit World is super cool. And I don't know if you've seen them, but they dress up in like cowboy outfits and stuff.
Oh, really?
So they've got the like cool cowboy like design shirt with like bolo ties and cowboy hats
Okay.
and stuff. Like it's hilarious. But they're super good live. Orthodox was really cool live. I'm not a huge fan of them. They're a
Sure.
little too like corn sounding to me.
I don't mind Orthodox. They do get on to the new metal
Yeah.
sound a bit.
But they were sick live and like their guitarist plays a right-handed guitar upside down.
Oh,
And so
really?
I outside of Josh, I don't know that I've seen anyone do that, and I've especially not seen anyone do that in like a legit big touring band,
Sure.
you know.
No,
So
that is interesting.
I was impressed by that. But then Comeback Kid was freaking just
Dude, they're so
unbelievable.
good.
So good. I felt bad because again, there was maybe like 50 people. And so you couldn't like, and there was a barricade, so like you couldn't stage dive, you couldn't do anything. You could barely mosh because there like wasn't even like it was
People.
like 3 rows of people, and then people behind them were just moshing, and there was no pit. It was just
Yeah.
like open floor, and like some people tried, like we would try to like push everyone in, and then guys would like climb up on shoulders and stuff, and they did
Yeah.
have. I'll post the video, but they did have security like grabbing people that were crowd surfing. The vocalist for Comeback Kid like grabs the security guard, like puts his arm around him and like starts screaming with everyone with him. Like that part was really cool, but I did feel bad for Comeback Kid because they were like, what did he say? He said something like the next time they come through, they're going to be headlining and they're going to make sure they go to a smaller venue without a barricade. So
Yeah.
like I'm hoping I get to see him again and it's in a more like intimate, better environment. But I mean, musically, they're so good live.
That
So,
last album, it's amazing. I didn't catch it when it first came out, which I think it was at the beginning of 2022 or something like that. And I've been listening to it quite a bit over the last 6-7 months. It's so good.
it's super good. And then Stick to Your Guns, like always, like every time I've seen them, just incredible.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
sounds so good live.
Did you see the last TikTok I made with the Stick to Your Guns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cracked me up.
My kids have been absolutely loving that. The guy throwing the alligator, like
Yeah.
right before it happens, and then they scream, "We don't need them." My girls are all screaming, "We don't need them." And they're just laughing their heads off.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. So
But
no, it's been
yeah.
fun.
It was a good show. So I don't know what I'm catching next. This time of year is kind of hard, with all the holidays and things like that. You just get so busy with family stuff. But I do know that
kids back in school and everything makes it
Yeah.
difficult too.
I will be checking out that Neck Deep Drain tour in January.
Dude.
So planning on that.
I'm still.
You want to fly down, man?
I'm.
Let's go.
Ash was listening to the episode that we were talking about with that, and she looked at me to like, well, we'll see, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm seriously considering it. So, because I'm not driving to Boise, screw that.
Yeah.
But I'm still hoping they somehow just like slip a Utah date in, because I think they have a day off in between right there.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen, but you can only hope. So, well, it's been 3 weeks, man. It's been a lot of stuff in the news. Where do you want to start?
I don't know, man. You seems like you got a bunch of stuff, so just throw something out there. Let's go.
So let me hit you with this, and then I want to get your take on. I've got an opinion about this for music, as it relates to music too. Recently, and this has been an ongoing lawsuit, okay, but this was recently settled that an artist was commissioned by a museum to submit 2 canvases of artwork for display. They paid him something like $50,000 or something like that. The dude sends them 2 blank white canvases with a title called "Take the Money and Run." So just completely blank, take the money and run. Art's subjective. I give kudos to the guy. He pulled off the greatest heist ever. The museum did not find it funny, and they sued him for their money back, kind of thing. What do you think?
I mean,
should he have been awarded the money and just should he have stuck to his guns
so
and
here's a good one.
fought it?
Is he like a normal artist though? Like he has sold them paintings before, or is he just some like random guy that they commissioned? Like,
I mean, he's well enough and known to have been commissioned by a museum to put up a display. So he is a legitimate artist.
okay. Because
You know.
like, yeah, I would say that like that's kind of douchey. It's super funny. Let me preface with that. It's hilarious. All right, and I don't feel bad, but what I will say is that like he's a legit artist. So it's like it's not like the museum could have done any due diligence. It's not like they said, "Hey, let's do a poll on Twitter or something, and whoever wins gets to do a painting." You know what I mean? Like they did research and found someone, and then he kind of screwed him over. So that sucks, but I don't really care. You know?
Okay. So now here's my musical take on this. Is this the same as when we get a very generic metalcore record from the current bands? So when Parkway Drive, when A Day to Remember put something out there and they hype it up and be like, this is the best music we've ever released, and it's generic BS, are they basically saying, take the money and run?
Shoot, dude, I don't know. That's a good question because I don't know. I think that metalcore is to a point where you can just play generic crap and expect money to come in. So I
Right.
would guarantee there's a bunch of people that are just doing it for that. So
Right. I mean, that's the way I equated it. Is I'm like, there's so much stuff coming out, and we beat this horse dead all the
yeah,
freaking time. But it just makes me so mad that these bands who have these massive followings all of a sudden just have put out just flops. You
yeah.
know, like not interesting to listen to.
So I do think though that like Parkway Drive, I wonder though if they genuinely like what they're putting out. And that's the thing though, right? Is like people change, music tastes change, like the music they write's going to change. They genuinely might like it and might think, hey, you know, we're actually trying, even though the music sucks, doesn't mean that they didn't like legitimately try and think it was good.
Sure.
You know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
So I do think though that there's tons of like new metalcore bands that are coming out that are just like it's copy and pasting what everyone else has done and it all sounds the same and they're just
Yeah.
doing it for money. Which
Yeah.
I feel like get a job. Like you could probably make more money just getting a job than playing fake metalcore music, you know?
You know what? On the flip side of that, though, if you have a certain threshold that you need just to live and you can make crappy metalcore music and make your couple
true.
grand a month, and that makes you happy, like, so be it, right? So I guess I can't fault people for that. But that's the way I took it, right? If I'm going to equate it to music today, it's bands who are popular that just put out just a total flop album. And the thing is, they always do press for it. They always say, this is the best music we've written in our career. They hype it up and it drops. And it's just like, if that's the best music you put out in your career, it's time to hang it up.
So I'm going to go as far though as saying is modern pop, modern country, and modern rap is 100% doing this.
Okay.
100%.
Sure.
Absolutely. Metalcore, like to some degree, you still have to like play an instrument and you still have to write your own music. It may suck and it may be generic, but at least you're kind of in control of it, right?
Sure.
Where 90% of the pop artists get their music from the same 4 songwriters that all sound the same. It's just a money grab, you know, and that's why there's so many lawsuits probably with artists and their music is because they sold their soul to get famous, but then they didn't read the fine print and record labels are making bank off of them while they're just putting out garbage music, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a little more applicable to this guy, but
sure. I mean, you could go across any genre, right? It's happening everywhere. But if we're going to relate it to the scene that we listen to, I'd say metalcore is probably the biggest culprit of this than any other scene currently in the alternative scene, right?
I just think that money ruins everything in art.
It's fair.
Because then it takes away the soul of it. So screw art. I'm just kidding. I can't paint crap, so But yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about, because I saw this online, the segues kind of into two questions. They're a little different, but they're kind of the same. So, first of all, have you seen that clip online while we're talking about generic, really crappy metalcore music? It's this band from like Asia, and they have like choreographed moves on stage.
The band is Sailing Before the Wind, and they are freaking awesome.
Really?
I've been listening to Sailing Before the Wind since like
Hey,
2015.
first of all, gross. Second of all,
I
are
know
you okay
exactly
with
who
that
you're
kind of
talking
stuff?
about.
Are you okay with that kind of stuff? Like you're basically creating a boy band for metal music.
Listen, man. The one thing about Sailing Before the Wind is they are actually legit at their instruments. They're good musicians and everything like that. So whether or not you like the music, they are not ones that are doing the backing tracks and stuff like that, as far as I can tell, right? They're actually playing and things along those lines. So if choreographing your stage is how you have fun up there, I'm okay with it.
Okay, first of all, rebuttal. The clips I saw sounded super backtracked and digitized.
Yeah.
It did not sound like fresh or whatever. I don't even want to call it raw. Dog.
Watch a live set, because I mean, maybe their
I did.
TikToks.
I did, and I saw them all up there choreographed spinning and stuff, and I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's like I'm watching a boy band. It's like I'm watching NSYNC up there playing metal music.
You know what? I didn't mind it. I don't care. I like the band. I guess that's probably the reason why I'm saying I don't care, because I actually like Sailing Before the Wind. So
okay. So how far is too far then?
That's a good question. That's a good question. How far before it becomes too,
like just
what's
watching
the word?
theater?
Cringe?
Sure.
Cringe.
This is already cringe, but what's the level of cringe I guess you accept? Because I've already passed mine.
We lived in the early 2000s emo scene with like the tight pants, the tight shirts, the crazy hairdos and stuff like that. That was way more cringe to me than choreographed dancing.
I'll disagree with you there.
Bro,
I absolutely
pull
so
Escape the Fate. What's the song with Ronnie and his flock of seagulls hair kind of thing? You cannot tell me that is not more cringe than
you can look
Sailing Before the Wind.
You can look as big of an idiot as you want, but when you're up there choreographed with a bunch of other dudes, at that point it's just a boy band.
You know what? Boy bands are very popular. Good on them. And you know what? Dude. They're also in the Asian countries. I want to say they're from Japan. I don't know that for certain, but K-pop, very big.
I know.
You know what?
But this is the whole thing that we're talking about.
Bro, all roads lead back to metal. We already had this discussion. If this is the avenue for K-poppers to get into metal, I'm down.
There is. What is it called? Baby metal or whatever? What was that?
Oh, heck yeah.
Gross. Not doing that either, dude. That stuff is freaking weird.
All roads lead back to metal.
No. Kills me.
Listen, this is better though. I will say, as we're talking about this, did you see that Pop Goes Reggae was nominated? No way, man. They were nominated for Best Reggae Album of the Year.
Good. It's a good album.
If you can't write original music,
they do
have that be the
so it's pretty much like a Pop Goes Punk, right? Where they have different artists that wrote reggae versions of songs.
Completely understand. If Pop Goes Punk ever got nominated for a Best Album of the Year, there is something terribly wrong with the genre.
Are you telling me that like
terribly wrong with the genre?
Those versions of those songs were better a lot of times than the originals.
I strong disagree, right?
Really?
I'm going to strong disagree with that. I may like them more.
You're telling me that Set Your Goals, Put Your Hood Up was not better than, was that Lil Jon that sings Put Your Hood Up?
I don't know who sings it.
It's one of the Lils.
It's who I would prefer, right? But it should not be more popular than the original. And it should not be a better pop punk song than other pop punk songs coming out that year.
Here's the thing. Okay, I sort of agree with where you're coming from. As somebody who does like reggae music and does listen to a lot of reggae music, reggae has fundamentally been destroyed because of things like reggaeton in Spanish music, where it's like this super digital crappy auto-tune rap is what reggae has turned into, and it's terrible. Like bring back the old school, like playing on the little circle thing with the drumsticks, you know, like you know what I'm talking about? Like bring me back
the
some like
steel drums
real,
and stuff.
yeah, like the real original reggae. No, it's all this like super digitized auto-tune mumbling crap that like they've done with reggaeton, like Bad Bunny. Reggae has basically turned into the Jamaican version of Bad Bunny. It's terrible. It's so bad. So I'm not surprised that a punk goes reggae or whatever, or pop goes reggae or whatever is nominated because it's the only good reggae to come out.
Listen, along with that debate, okay, one thing that really bothers me is, and this is contradicting what you just said, but everyone who goes out and they fight against people who are like, this isn't true, we'll say like emo, or this isn't true. The one I saw recently was ska. Everyone's like, ska music today is not real ska. Like, I'm like, screw that. Like, they're like, if you think Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish is ska, you're wrong. Listen, I would much rather it be a limited number of genres that more bands fit into than the thousands of made up crap that people are doing.
Yeah.
So
The thing with ska
reggae
though
can
is
be reggaeton and it's just fine.
no, it's terrible. It's terrible. I'm telling you, dude. Go listen to like modern reggae and you're going to be like, I don't even know what this is. This isn't reggae. This is like mumble rap from Jamaica. That's all it is.
Listen, if
Like
it
Bob
fits,
Marley would be like, Bob Marley would be cringing and dying. He'd be rolling over in his grave right now if he could hear this garbage.
if it fits a general mold, it is what it is.
Yeah, but you can mold
What's
like
the saying?
poop, and it's a bad mold.
What is it saying? If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Close enough, right?
This doesn't walk or quack like a duck. It quacks like what we were talking about before with the punk kids. And Rancid, that's what it sounds like. Someone's doing that to him, you know? So it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. All right. That's my biggest thing.
Right.
Now, talking about ska music, I'm pretty sure ska.
This is not the way I wanted this conversation to go, by the way.
Look, yeah. All right, whatever.
Continue your thought.
I'm going to. I just, I want to make sure you know that, like, don't bring this stuff up if you don't want to hear my stupid take on it, because you're going to hear it. I have read online, and of course, everything I read online is true. So I read that ska music actually came out before reggae music. That ska has been out for like a real long time. And we're on like ska wave like 18. It's not 18, it's only like 4 or 5, but still it's like the new wave of ska is like way different than original because it's been out for a long time. So all these people that are like, it doesn't sound like ska, it's like, yeah, but are you comparing it to ska from like 1896? Because of course it's not going to sound the same.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, sounds change and things along those lines. The problem is, as I was saying, they keep the general song structures, undertones, everything like that. There's a basic foundation to it. The biggest like culprit of like sound that has changed significantly and still keeps the same name is actually metal. Like heavy metal, AC/DC, all of that kind of stuff, Black Sabbath, compared to heavy metal today, very different. Yeah. I don't know. I think that they're the biggest culprit of a differentiating sound that still keeps the same name to it.
Yeah, I get that. I just know that like technically speaking, Less Than Jake does not sound a lot like original ska.
Sure.
Because if you go back, like people considered Rancid a ska band, and like No Doubt.
Okay, yeah,
I can. But it's not brassy, right?
Right.
And that's why, and which is kind of funny because a lot of the new ska coming out, like one of my favorite ska bands right now is called Bad Operation.
Yeah.
They're incredible. They don't really use a lot of brass. They sound a lot more like Rancid or, old school Tiger Army type stuff. And that's so like
psychobilly punk.
Kind of, yeah. Like it's like a reggae mixed with like punk but like straight up, no, like not a lot of brass stuff. It's more just like punk with reggae influences, and I really like it. So anyone bagging on new ska music today can come fight me because I like it. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it bothers me when people are like, this isn't emo because it's not what emo started as. It's not ska because it's not what ska started as.
right.
Sounds are going to change. Number one, technology got better. Number two, why just instruments are better, musicianship's better, all of that kind of stuff. If the initial foundation and undertones are the same,
Yeah.
it's going to get grouped the same.
The
And it
only
should.
the only complaints I have about music nowadays is that it's genuine and it's not over digitized unless I'm listening to like EDM or something, right? Then it's like,
Sure.
okay, you have to digitize it. But when we're talking about ska, when we're talking about metal, when we're talking about any of this crap, as long as it's genuine and not overproduced and over digitized, I don't care what genre it is. I don't care what it is. If it sounds good, I'll listen to it, you know?
Sure. I
So
gotcha. That's fair. That's fair. So
everyone should listen to me.
that is not true. No. But
Okay, hold on. So kind of going along the lines of that, of synchronized with these young kids, synchronized moves on stage. When I was looking at, I just had like a mini stroke right there. I don't even know what the frick I'm saying. With some of the watching the clips from Furnace Fest, some of these old guys. Did you see some of the bands up there with guys wearing knee braces?
dude, yes.
Is it
And
time to hang it up? Like, is it time to hang the Pumas or the Air Maxes up when you have to wear a knee brace on stage?
I'm gonna say no, and that's solely because like, see what Mick Jagger's doing, man. That dude's a freaking skeleton on stage.
He's not
and
alive.
He's
It's like-
still rocking it. Incubus guitarist is fueled that guy. And if you guys don't get that reference, go check out our episode.
Go listen to one of our earlier episodes. Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Okay. When Mick Jagger dies, and I'm doing air quotations because he's already
Because he's
dead.
a vampire and he's not dead.
No, they're going to release a documentary that's like Weekend at Rolling Stones. And it's going to be the Rolling Stones version of Weekend at Bernie's, where there's a puppet master up there or something because he's not alive. He's
I
dead.
sure hope so. They're going to just, we talk about digitizing. They're going to, what's the word? They did it to Tupac. What'd they do to him?
Tupac's not dead either.
A hologram. They're going to
Okay.
hologram him and just go forever. Or he already is a hologram and we just don't know. So
Maybe he always was.
Did you ever see the hologram of Tupac?
No.
The dude is like ripped, like an 8-pack. Like they like built this guy like way heavy.
Was Tupac not like that?
Apparently not. Like he lifted and stuff, but he wasn't like 8-pack shredded. He wasn't like a fitness model kind of guy up there.
Yeah.
Which they also finally arrested someone in the murder of Tupac.
I saw
Did you
that.
see that?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, this is
Justice.
going everywhere today.
Yeah. So when I was at Stick to Your Guns and Comeback Kid, there was a dude with a full on like had his knee replaced brace on there, you know? And I'm just like, man, it's time to hang it up, dude.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know, man.
you're going there and try spin kicking and stuff with your knee brace, like
Okay, hanging up for the mosh? Yes.
that's what I'm saying. He was like trying to go hard and he like couldn't really go hard because
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the dude's playing like up on stage and stuff. I'm like, hey, if you can still play, like more power to you. You know what I mean?
I just
I
thought
don't care if you're 70 up there and playing some heavy ass
Yeah.
riffs.
it was making me
So-
laugh though, seeing the Furnace Fest posts or videos of guys up there in knee braces because I was like, that's a true reunion show, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, you've been out of the game a long time. Like, you take it serious. You're wearing a knee brace. Like, yeah, I don't know.
No, there was a video on Twitter that I retweeted a couple months ago, and some dude swinging, and all of a sudden he like goes into like a back bend kind of thing, and he puts his hand behind his back. I'm like, I've been there. Your back's going out, and then all of a sudden, like he pops back up, and then he like spin kicks and keeps swinging. It's like, oh, you checked yourself. Didn't go out. We're good. So, no. One thing that I did see a few weeks ago, and this is straight up such a douche move, but a lady goes and posts this story about an amazing experience meeting Ed Sheeran. She went to a meet and greet in London or somewhere. I think it was London. And the record store said, listen, you guys can bring, I think it was like headshots or something, but don't bring records. Don't bring vinyls, anything like that. Because the biggest thing right now, and there's been videos of Third Eye Blind, there's been videos of Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, and stuff like that, not signing things because all they do is go straight to eBay and sell them. Right. So they said, don't bring anything other than just like a headshot or something, or whatever the venue or the place was giving out. She tells Ed Sheeran this story about really loving him and all this stuff, and asked him, if I had records here, would you sign them? And he said, yeah, but you don't have them. So he tells the record store, go grab one of each of my vinyls, put it on my tab, and I'm going to sign it for her. And he signed 4 LPs, gave it to her, and within a day, they're posted online for sale with this story of his generosity, of him buying it for her, of all this stuff. Dude, number
That's whack.
one, what a douche move.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion here? What are your thoughts on this? Like, let's put this out there.
So
let's say she's on the brink of being kicked out of her house, and this is the way for her to pay rent. Is it then acceptable? Or is it still such a, she should not have done that?
So why are bands being weird about people turning around and selling it though? Why do they care?
It's mostly like the bigger names. It's like the Ed Sheerans. It's like Dave Grohl's.
Yeah, why do they care?
The Third Eye Blind one was a little bit weird to me, but I don't know. I think it's more that like it became less of a fan interaction and more of a business transaction. And so like it turned into, there's a section of the group who comes, who loves the artist, who like, this is going to be a lifetime memory for them. Hang it on their wall, always keep it and support them like ongoing, versus people who are just there to make a profit off it. They don't care about the artist. They don't care about anything. All it is just about the money coming in.
So
give me your opinion. This is why I'm asking.
I don't care. I mean, and I don't know why these multi-million-dollar artists care either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, why do they care? It's not affecting them at all. Like, do you think they even care about those experiences either? Like, now if they came out and they're like, well, we're bummed because you guys are taking up a spot of someone that like genuinely wanted to meet us and you're just trying to make money, like, okay, that's a take you can have, but like just getting mad that they're turning around selling things, like, who cares?
I mean, most often the reason why like I've seen like the counter argument for the artist is they'll sign things for charity. And so like in the end, like if they're going to sign things, it's to go to a good cause. It's not for someone to line their own pockets.
So you're saying someone's like faking cancer to get in this line and then get him to sign stuff.
This one just happened to be like just out of the generosity of his heart. They had some kind of conversation and he just did this willy-nilly kind of thing. Ed Sheeran might not even care. But there was also probably thousands of other people there who were literally told, do not bring anything. He's not signing records and things like that. And this person somehow talked him into, number one, him buying her the records, then signing them, and then turning around and selling them. So I don't know. I take a little bit of issue with it. Like, I think that's a pretty douchey move.
Why?
Because there's all the other people who probably would have hung them on their wall. There's probably all the people who would have done things like that. I don't know.
It's just I don't know. Maybe this is, and I'm going to get philosophical here for a second. Maybe that's like exposing a greater issue on society that we like hold these people up to, like, from both sides. This is both sides. Hold these people up to a certain pedestal that, one, like, you can sell like 1,500 pounds, because I think it says here pounds, or is that euros? I don't know. 1,500 pounds for
each
vinyl, each one.
And she has 4.
But like, who's buying that? Like, it's Ed Sheeran, man. Like, who? But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is like, why do we care that much? Like, why do you care? It's just freaking like, here, send it to me. I'll do it for half that price. Like, I'll just fake his
Just
signature.
fake the
Exactly.
signature.
Like, why do we care? He's just a person. Like, he's just a person that makes music. Like, I don't know. Like, even all the bands that we talk about and that we've idolized and all this stuff, like, man, they're just people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you say that, and then you send me a text when one of the bands comments on our Twitter because you're super
Yeah,
excited.
like, I know, like, I'm excited and stuff, but I'm not gonna like. It's not my
There's
whole person.
something-
I'm not gonna go drop £1,500 or dollars or whatever on a like signed vinyl for it. Like, I'm not.
Sure, but music does mean things to people.
No, I
Artists mean
know.
things to
I know.
people. Like it's a very personal thing to a lot of people, right? Like like being a fan of something, whether it's music, like what we talk about, sports, whatever it is, whatever you're into, art, there's something personal about it. And if that's what you choose to do, to take the personal out of it and turn it into a business transaction, that's what I tend to have the issue with.
Yeah, but what about these people that like never would have a chance to meet Ed Sheeran that want to buy some signed stuff from him? Is this person not giving the dream to someone else? Like, why can't you know?
I mean, the people who are in that situation don't have the 1,500 to buy one of these records.
You never know. What if it's like some poor person that saved up every penny for years?
They probably should not be buying a $1,500 Ed Sheeran record, right?
I don't think you should ever be doing that, but
another situation there. There's a time.
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I know that like if I met Michael Jordan, like I would probably break down and cry, and then he would probably hit me because I hear he's a dick. But like, I get where people are coming from because I do have like people that I've, you know, like I don't want to say idolize because that's the whole point I'm trying to make is like we shouldn't idolize these people. I don't know that like I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, right? Huge basketball fan. Michael Jordan is like the biggest thing in basketball. I don't care what anyone says. LeBron James, you're not it, and we can fight over that too.
We don't have to fight over that. There's no debate here.
All right, good, thank you. But like, I would never spend actual money on stuff from him. Like, this is a guy who's like poster I had on my wall growing up. Like, I would watch his videos all the time because I wanted to be like Mike, you know. But I would never drop $1,500 on a pair of shoes or something from him. And I know people do, but I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm more aligned with you, mostly just because like I prefer the viewership of thing or the listening aspect of things. Like the actual sign thing doesn't really do it for me, but there is something that a lot of people enjoy that is the tangible aspect of something that they signed it. They had a connection to it. It's a legitimate aspect or a legitimate item that they've touched and felt, and they hold that connection.
And I understand that. And I'm not trying to like bash on people's hobbies for the most part.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just saying that like, I don't know. They're just people. Like if I saw Ed Sheeran, like I'd dap him up and be like, you know, make better music. But
coming from a guy who went to see Ed Sheeran.
Exactly. It's funny you bring this up though, because I work with a guy who has like a environmentally controlled room in his house where he puts like collectible cards and things like that. But he's not a fan of any of these things. He does it just.
He likes the collection.
Because it can be a business.
Oh, okay.
So like he'll pay money and then he'll flip cards and crap. So he's like, yeah. And I'm just like, dude, you've got like either that or he's grown weed and he's just saying that he's like, you don't control it, try to sell cards or whatever. Right. But I'm just like, really? Like you don't even like it and you're doing it. Like you're probably, so that part of it, I kind of understand where you're coming from. Cause it's like, now he's just taking cards from other people making a business, but at the same time, it's like I don't care.
See, and I would have issue if he was the one going out and collecting the signatures. If he's just being the middleman, I don't care about that. I don't care about the third party middleman because if they're doing it truly as a business, I get that, right?
But does that not take the spirit? I mean, I'm throwing this argument back at you because this is what you're saying. Does that not take the spirit out of what like collecting cards is about?
Not necessarily, in my opinion, just because I am a collector. I do have things that I collect and things like that. And there are things that people have bought and held on to and have enjoyed for, let's say, 15 to 20 years. They like it was their pride and joy, and they got into a situation where they had to let it go for some reason. Whether it was, we talked to Chris about his vinyl collection, whether it was to add to his collection or things like that. He said that he even would like sell vinyl to pay for his rent, to pay for gas for his food, and things like that. People get into situations where there has to be a third party middleman able to support that. And then someone else is maybe willing to pay a higher price for it later. I don't care about the middleman. I'm fine with that. I do care though about the people who are the ones who push little kids out of the way to get signatures, who
Sure.
like will, for the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl won't go sign things because so many of these guys walk up with a stack of 30 albums and say, sign all of these.
Yeah,
And
it's
they
annoying.
don't care.
I
Like,
get
it's
that.
annoying, right?
Although your comment about the middleman makes me think that you don't hate people that make drugs. You only hate people that deal drugs.
Sure. Listen, we're talking about third world environments here, right? They've got to freaking make money and survive somehow down there. The cartel's not supporting them in any sort of way, so
Man. I don't know.
No,
I get
man.
what you're saying. Like, I just think this is just like a symptom of how messed up society has gotten. That like,
It is. And that's my problem is
Yeah.
that there's an entire market dedicated to this aspect that's ruined it for people who enjoy it for the collectible aspect.
yeah,
That's what I don't like is that things have been ruined because of some of these.
it's like I said before, though, money gets involved and it ruins
100%.
all this stuff.
And
you know?
that's it's a perfect example. Money got involved and ruined a good thing for people, you know? Because like if I ran into like, and I'm not a massive Foo Fighter guy, right? Like I'm not a massive Dave Grohl fan, but let's say like my daughter grew up and she had all the albums and loved it, and I bumped into Dave Grohl at the airport. I'm like, man, dude, my daughter is like a major fan. Like, could I just get a signature? He's like, no, there's too many of you guys who just like sell my crap. I'm not doing that. Like it would piss me off.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
That's
like-
also on him, and that's
Yeah.
But again, it's
But-
going full circle, right?
It
Where
is, it is.
full circle back to where it's like, Dave, why do you care? Just sign.
Yeah.
Just sign the paper.
Right.
Now, I'm very much against approaching people in public, so
yeah.
I would never do
Yeah.
that. Even if I saw Dave Grohl, I'd probably just like yell something really random to make him think that I was like talking to him, but then I'd be like looking the other direction, you know? But
Yeah,
yeah,
Dave Grohl over there. He looks at you. You're just like, no, man. I was just having a normal conversation. I don't
yell
even know who
something-
you are, bro.
yeah. Yell like I'm about to fight you, fool.
Tim Armstrong has his fingerprints all over you.
All right. I think it's time to get off.
I do want you to. So you have this question about Disney up here.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
did you want to talk about that? And then
Well-
we'll wrap this up.
Yeah. So I was at Disney a little bit ago. I saw like multiple people with service dogs there.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if they got on the rides with them. But two things out of that. One, do you think a blind person enjoys roller coasters more or less than people that can see?
Ooh, that's a good question because the sensation is going to be way different.
Way different. Yeah.
So, I mean, Space Mountain,
Sure.
it's pretty much
Black,
pitch black,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming for you.
And, I mean,
I don't know.
people love that ride, right? Because there's
There's
like,
the twists and turns. There's
yeah,
the
and you
unknown
don't-
aspect.
yeah, exactly.
So their entire life is just Space
Space
Mountain.
Mountain. I'd get so motion sick if I didn't know where I was going all the time, dude. I'd get so motion sick.
I wonder if they get motion sick, or I wonder if because of like the loss of sight, like I wonder if motion
Like
sickness
Daredevil?
is tied to your eyesight.
Oh, maybe no, because when I close my eyes, it gets worse.
Oh, really?
Science.
You didn't explain it.
Anyways, yeah, I think that they would have more fun on roller coasters when they can't see
Probably
Now-
because of the unknown.
because the unknown. Question number 2 is: let's say the dog gets on the roller coaster. What do you think's going through that dog's mind? The dog's just like, what the hell?
I don't know.
Could
But
you imagine?
dude, I saw a video. I don't know where this was, but it was like a old rundown broken building that like wasn't finished. It had to be a third world country, right? There's a dog walking along the 5th level of this building. just launches itself off of this roof and hits the ground, pops up and wanders on off. Like,
Crazy.
Like probably the same situation,
I mean, I've
right?
seen videos of like dogs that like have gone down slides and have liked it, I guess.
I used to push
But,
my
like,
dog down the slide.
Yeah. I just like, can you imagine though the mind F on a dog that like doesn't get what's going on? And then all of a sudden you're like, Splash Mountain, dude. He's like all freaking out. And then also you get this huge drop and the dog's like, just no
like
clue.
flying, the wind's in its face.
Yeah. They're probably tripping
it's-
out way hard, dude. That's like animal abuse to do that. But I
I'm
don't know if they actually
I
put the dog
also
on the
can
ride.
guarantee a dog cannot ride a roller coaster at Disneyland. This is not a conversation.
I don't know, man.
So-
They were in the line. They were in the line.
There's probably 2 people there. The blind person rides, gets off, the other person rides. It's just like a child pass, right?
I don't know, dude. I feel like you got to put the dog on the ride.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, people are going to hate this episode.
I feel like if anyone could get through this episode, then they deserve something. So maybe
We've got all sorts of people coming after us right now. We've got punks coming after us for Tim Armstrong. We've got K-pop coming after us for synchronized metalcore, and we've got blind people coming after us for service animals.
Well,
so we got it all.
We'll be able to see. We'll see.
All right. Anything else before we sign off here?
I don't know that we should, so we should probably just get off.
All right. Sounds good, man. Well, we'll catch you guys on it. Well, the next episode dropping Monday, which will be Kubla Khan, right?
Well,
after this one, after this episode.
Yeah. Okay. So we're recording this the night before AFI drops.
AFI drops, but this is coming out Thursday.
Yes, this episode will come out Thursday, and then the next one will be Kubla Khan. So
Kubla Khan,
Kubla Khan, Texas, because there's a funny story about their name.
Yep,
with that
80s thrash metal. So
yeah,
okay, man.
All right,
but we'll hit it up then.
Okay, see you.
Peace.